Alright folks, welcome back to f.i.s.t Games. Another rambling video. You know, these do get good conversation on Twitter and in the comment section in my YouTube videos. So it gets good engagement and that's why I like doing them. So here's another one. Let's talk about Remakes Remasters. And actually it was Gib84 on Twitter who kind of sparked the interest in this conversation and kind of, lit up a little bit of a creative fuse in me. I felt like I wanted to make a little video on it to discuss. So, Remakes Remasters. Actually, before I even start, you're probably wondering, why am I playing f.i.s.t. Forged in Shadow Torch? It's a game I picked up thanks to the recommendation of 8-Bit Boy UK, and it's made by a company called Microids, and they pretty much are maybe a lower scale publisher, not AAA, maybe let's call them single or AA maximum, and they make new IPs, which is important. So I like supporting a company like that and I like trying out new experiences. This is a lot of fun. Metroidvania, and a true style Metroidvania to the extent it doesn't have procedurally generated maps, which I like. I like the way it's actually structured, that they've bothered to build a full levels landscape from scratch, start to finish, and the layout is the same for everybody. But anyway, enough about the game. I kind of wanted to get into the fact is it's nice to see a publisher who creates new games. So when we move on to the whole Remakes Remasters topic, I suppose ultimately what we're seeing is a lot of AAA publishers pushing out remakes, remasters of games, and now it's starting to get to the stage where we're starting to see remakes and remasters, you know, less than 5 years since its previous release, which to me personally I find ridiculous, and it's getting a bit borderline out of control. Now look, it's your money, I understand that people can go and buy what they want, but I think ultimately consumers are driving publishers' decisions, and if we are in a position now where we start buying games and remakes and remasters of games that, you know, Horizon is the latest one up in discussion on Twitter, and I can see that, you know, for me personally, that game came out in 2017 and we're already talking about a remake or a remaster. I don't care what you want to call it, but that to me is ridiculous. I find that ridiculous. We shouldn't be even considering reworking a game that has only released like 5 years ago. Like, you know, that to me is crazy. So as I said, the more we buy into that, the more that becomes acceptable. I think that's the ultimate scenario here. Now, I'm not all against remakes, remasters. For argument's sake, I absolutely love the Resident Evil remakes. But as those examples they're a full reimagining of a game that released, you know, at least 6 to 10 years, maybe even more. So if you think back maybe to the original Resident Evil, which released in 96, that was remade completely from scratch on the GameCube in 2002. So at least there was a 6-year gap, and there was a generational leap gap there as well. And when you compare both games, they're drastically different in their visual design. But I think both games stand up, and you can play both games. I have no problem playing both of those games. Other obvious examples, again, looking at Resident Evil 2 Remake, like the original released in 98 and it wasn't remade until 2019. So there's a huge gap there. So I think, and then when you reimagine a game completely, I think there is hunger for that. And for me personally, I like that idea. What I don't like is where things are starting to turn into maybe movie industry style standard, where we're starting to see, like for argument's sake, The Last of Us remake. You know, to me, I honestly don't think that was required at all. And the price tag as well was a particular issue for me as well, to charge such a high level price tag. I think that type of game came out ultimately because they're coming out with a series of the game next year. So financially it made sense. They'll remake the game, let's call it inverted commas. I don't see enough of a significant change to warrant €70 to pay for a game like that at a budget price. I think would have been more acceptable. But anyway, it's more so I can understand why they did it. So the market enjoys remakes, remasters. It's bound to sell, and it's bound to sell alongside the TV. But as I said, really my main point being is the more and more we accept this, the more and more it's going to happen. Like we've got what's on the cards, Dead Space remake is coming out. I'd argue that doesn't need a remake either. I actually recently streamed that maybe a couple of months back here on the channel. And, you know, the game holds up incredibly well. So did it need a remake? Who knows? We've got the Resident Evil 4 remake coming up, but I think that's on the basis and success of the other remakes of the Resident Evil games. And at least what I can say, to be fair to the Dead Space one and the Resident Evil one, is they look like reimagined games to an extent as well. So at least that level of effort is going in. So it's a double-edged sword. How much are we going to impact what publishers decide? And ultimately, are they going to stop creating new experiences, and are they going to start completely moving their focus towards remakes, remasters, up until the point of where we're sick of seeing the same games over and over being remade, remastered over and over again? Me personally, I prefer new experiences than constantly revisiting old experiences that I've already experienced before. Like, I even pick it up there as well. A couple of months ago, there's like a True Lies series coming out for the movie, like, but the movie holds up so well. Just go watch the fucking movie. Like, we don't need a series for that. You know, it feels to me like gaming is picking up on that kind of whole Netflix style, Disney style, you know, consumption of media, whereas in essence we're losing that creativity in the process. But I'm really interested to know what people think. Please share some comments down below. It's a really interesting topic to me, and any engagement in this one is really, really cool. I love that type of feedback and conversation. So yeah, share your thoughts, guys, in the comments, please. I'll make sure I will reply back, and let's get chatting about it. Yeah, so that's this week's video. Nothing major this week. Stream on Friday. I'll talk to you then, guys. Thanks for watching.